knows the spice controls the universe.
Yeah, it's rich in bubbly goodness.
Do you remember when you lost your passion for this work?
I invited another friend. I hope that's okay. Ah!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi pop culture analysis, and I just screwed that up. It is a Saturday, and we are chilling, and of course, Saturday means we are doing pre-records with guests who can't make it for lunch, so you know what? We meet them after school, right here on this series of after-school specials. And of course, you know, I'm not flying solo, and I thought it was going to be Black Debbie, but looks like I got Stevie Wonder instead.
Even I could see you messed up that intro. I'm sorry, I had to do that. Too soon?
At least I didn't kick myself out of the stream that early.
Who did that? I kicked myself out? Oh, that was Gary. Oh, okay.
That was Gary.
Okay, because I did that to myself earlier. So I was like, okay.
I did the same thing because, like I said, I've got like a new gaming mouse and I'm not used to the buttons on the side. Click the button and kick myself out my own stream.
That's okay. It's a weird day. We finally got one person on. If you bring up his voice, he turns all red and blushes, which is pretty funny because I like doing that now.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna beat me up one day in the future, so it's all good.
Nah, I call him the most eloquent member of the Dark Council.
He is.
Literally. I mean, everybody's got their own personalities and everything like that. But this one, when he starts talking, it's just like
everyone else is quiet.
Yeah, we're pretty much paying attention. The joke is he could read the phone book and we just pay attention.
Wait, the phone book still exists?
I heard.
Oh, he's also known as like, well, he's been called it before. He's like the little brother to a lot of the people in the Dark Council. They have a lot of respect for him and a lot of love for him.
Yeah, and he has a ton of just like Star Wars knowledge. It's just amazing just to hear him just like opine on, on stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad to get to talk to him finally, even though his first words to me before we started was, "Oh, this guy." So there goes my self-esteem. It's like a family reunion.
Well, I'm just excited that we get to interview him because I haven't seen him on a whole lot of streams and interviews. So I was very happy that he agreed to be on. So without further ado, how you doing, Lord Callous?
Oh, look, he's blushing.
You guys, come on. We said we weren't going to do that. We weren't going to do that.
We're going to do what?
Come on.
We aren't going to prop you up like the person you are, what we see. I'm sorry.
Stop.
Please bring on the emotionally depressed Callous of Lawrence.
Can I just tell you how much hate DMs I'm going to get? See, you didn't say about his voice. You didn't tell him how we like his voice. What's wrong with you?
Stop. Don't do that. Keep it coming.
I apologize for white and fat-splaining Lord Callous's voice. I'm so sorry.
Oh, goodness. You are crazy. Stephen. How you guys doing now?
Oh, doing great.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for agreeing to be here.
Absolutely.
I just woke up. That's all that matters.
Did you?
No.
Oh, you just said you polished off a box of cupcakes. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know.
I sleep and they end up in there. I don't know what happened.
It takes a while, right?
Oh, man.
About 10 minutes.
Well, cool. Yeah. The first question we always ask people, it's like our level set question. So what are your memories of lunchtime at school?
Oh. Wow. So we're talking about middle school. We're talking about high school. Just the first one that comes to mind.
The first one that comes to mind. Sometimes people have more than one example. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think and this is going to be kind of weird or maybe weird for some people, but in middle school, we used to have a store in the lunchroom, and my mother and one of my friends' mother used to just, as part of the PTA, they used to go and run that store for lunchtime, just as an after, whatever. And people would ask me, isn't it kind of weird that your mother, that, you come to school and your mother's there? And I'm like, no, that shit don't bother me. It just is what it is. It was actually fun because then you have the opportunity to get more money. You have the, and I enjoyed it. It was never something that bothered me, but I think that's probably one of my fondest memories of lunchtime through school was when and it wasn't every day, they weren't there every day. It was just something that the parents would volunteer to do, and she was one that volunteered to do that. It was probably one of the ways that she could keep an eye on us, because it's myself, and I have three brothers. One younger than me. He's about 3 years younger. He is 3 years younger than me. I have one that's 16 months older than me. My mother calls us the Irish twins, and then
Wait, you're Irish?
No, but know.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that racist?
One more crack about monster hands, and I promise you I will shoot your fat Irish faces off. I'm sorry, was that racist?
How is it racist?
I don't know. I'm just saying that because you said
there's a handbook for racism.
Okay. No, I'm just saying.
I'm laughing because I've heard the term Jamaican twins too.
Is Irish racist?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know how everything is racist nowadays.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, my phone doesn't say it's racist.
Did you ask Siri?
No, I asked Google.
Google, is that right? Oh, no.
But you're lucky, man. You got a nice mom that would probably try to keep an eye on you, but she knew not to interfere with the school life from the home life, right? My mom, if she was in that, she'd be like, I saw you eat those 4 chocolate bars. I saw you not getting the vegetables. I made you a lunch. Why didn't you just eat that? I'm like, this is why I want to transfer.
No, my mother, she was always like, when it came to... Yeah, not protective, but she was just involved, with the sports and anything after school, PTA, anything involved with school. She was always there, and it wasn't something that a lot of times we would hear. And even with the fact that I do have my brother that, like I said, he's just 1 grade older than me, and a lot of times we would be invited to the same parties, the prom, the ball, and people. Like, aren't you? I said, no, that's my brother. Like, are you kidding me? Why wouldn't I want my brother here? Why wouldn't I want my mother here? So anyway, so that's just my fondest memory of lunch, of the lunchroom isn't that kind of weird now that I'm thinking about it? My mother is the
I don't think it's weird. I think it's so cool hearing these stories, because people, they'll be like, I haven't thought about that in ages, or this happened. Like, for example, Peter Cimetti was talking about, at lunch, I used to swap comics for, snacks.
Yeah. I used to sell bags of Jolly Ranchers. Did you ever go in there? I don't know. Y'all ever go in the ShopRite? Remember when in ShopRite they used to have those samples, right? Y'all don't remember that? When you would go into the grocery store and they would have samples, and it was like 5 cents, and they would have like a bunch of different kinds of candies, right? And so am I like putting myself out there on blast right now? They can't come and get me now, right? They can't come and get me.
No, we don't know who you are.
They can't come and get me now. But remember, so my brother and I, we would take like pennies. And it would say 5 cents for the samples, but we would.
You would flatten them out. I know. Okay.
We would be like, "Mama," and we would get the bag, and then we would take that bag to school, and then we would flip it, because you paid anywhere from a penny to 5 cents for that sample, but we're
Mm-hmm.
running them for a quarter or 5 for $1, you know,
Mhm.
and so we would.
This is how you went to the arcade, isn't it? This is how you flip stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you know what? You learned economics that way, didn't you?
exactly.
That's why it was always good to be a kid that had ADHD, especially in my case, because you could flip that Ritalin like no tomorrow. It's always funny watching your classmates looking sped out and methamphetamines playing crab soccer. Jim had one. Look at him go. There's
Exactly.
Frankie. Oh.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
I'm fired.
love asking. You're not firing us today.
No, not today.
But I love hearing these stories from people because it's stuff that you wouldn't find out within like the normal course of discussion.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it brings up a lot of things that people have in common. Like the other question
Drug dealing.
is up. Well,
but I never did that.
No, I'm not saying you did. No.
Well,
I'm not saying I did either.
let's just say I know some people who had them on speed dial, but I'm not gonna out them right now. No, but like the other things like pizza. Did you have square pizza at school? Or did you have round pizza at school?
Oh, damn.
No, he was too busy flipping candy. He didn't eat pizza. He had a sugar rush.
Well, sometimes you need the whole gamut of junk food. What you want? You want candy? You want pizza?
Listen,
you know?
though. Now, did we? I think we had. Did we have triangle pizza or square pizza?
Please say triangle. It's already 60-1. I need at least 3 more people to say triangle.
I think we did. I think it was triangle.
You're good.
God damn, that's a.
Well,
I
where
think it
y'all
was
are,
triangle. I know it wasn't round. I know
Okay.
it wasn't round. It was either square or triangle. I can't recall.
He's gonna be doing research after this. He's already thinking about the.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, he's gonna call his mom after. Mom, is that triangle or square
Or my
pizza?
brother, they say, "Yo, you remember what the pizza was like?"
Can't be skewing the results now. I think
Ex-
I think it's mostly square. I think square pizza's running ahead right now.
See, I hated when they cheaped out and they would like, hey, we got pizza today. Just be bagel with tomato sauce, 3 pieces of pepperoni and melted cheese. Like, what is this? Isn't pizza. What is this?
Oh man, I just
Yeah.
remember the burgers more than anything. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's probably what I ate more than anything was the burgers.
It was either that or the chicken strips. I think burgers, pizza, and chicken strips were the best days, right? When you hear special meat, you were like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing this.
Oh man.
Yeah, those are some cool memories though. But I just like asking people about that. Kind of puts like in a different, little bit of a
Headspace.
different. Exactly,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Because you'll get some stories like when Mark was on and he was talking about just like all the old school rappers that would be
yeah.
around when he was.
Because he was in Marcy, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So he would
That's
talk. He
crazy.
would talk about that. So yes, it's cool asking people stuff about that, which leads me into the other question. So
Uh-oh.
how in the world did you get started with this YouTube thing?
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. Mine was different. My journey was quite different from wanting to rant and rave about how bad Star Wars was. Mine was because I was in the saber community. So people when we would buy or we would put the electronics in the lightsabers, or we would buy a new lightsaber from Saber Forge or Vader's Vault or whoever, right? We would make reviews about those sabers and put them up. And those that did that tended to do very well as far as views and as far as subscribers, right? And so in 2015, when right before Force Awakens dropped, now I didn't know anything about being on YouTube other than what I saw, right? So my very first video is from 2015, and it was just a comparison. I just laid the two sabers down, the one from Saber Forge, which is called the Relic, and the other one from Kylo Ren's lightsaber, which was a Black Series. All I did was lay them down and then showed them, right? And I just uploaded the video and then didn't even think about it anymore. The next time I came back to it, it had over 30,000 views. And
wow.
Yeah, but I didn't I didn't do anything with it because I didn't really think about it. I said, maybe I'll do this, you know, and so I let it alone. And then, you know, Force Awakens happened. Then, yeah, and then Last Jedi, and that's, and I didn't get to. When Last Jedi happened, I was talking with my brothers about doing it, about going ham, and I still backed away from it. And then I came back to it. The next time was Solo. I recorded the video for Solo from me being in the house, me leaving, going to the theater, so on and so forth, and then my review. I just never put it up. I don't know. I just didn't.
You think you ever will?
Probably not now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to love Solo. It was so great, Lord Callous.
I just asked because, like, because I think I told this story before. I did it backwards. I didn't get a chance to watch The Last Jedi because life just happened and I didn't get a chance to see it. I saw Solo first, then saw The Last Jedi.
Oh,
what's wrong with you?
At home. What do you mean what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with you people? I didn't say you. What is this?
No, for me, I was just like, you know, I got some loyalty points. I'll go watch Solo, you know, at the theater. And I'm like, is this a one-off?
Yeah, that
I'm like, maybe I just needed to see The Last Jedi. Well,
yeah.
I still haven't seen Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I will not watch it.
I mean, the Rise of Skywalker was just was. You know what I mean? Like that, the Rise of Palpatine, really. It wasn't like, it just was.
I haven't seen it yet. So.
You haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker?
No.
Yeah. I mean,
there you go. So you sum it up. Everyone, I'm trying to catch up, but Callous, that noise you make right there, because you start thinking about when you actually remember bits and pieces of that movie and how you remember Star Wars. Everyone is given that same noise, whether it's Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Solo, or anything. They give that same grunt, and it's the grunt of I remember it, but it's not Star Wars that I want to remember. And you can take parts out of it that you respect, but it gets to the point where you're sitting there going, I just want to see some Jedi. I want to see some Force powers. I want to see some hero's journey, and I want it to be entertained. And that wasn't in there at all.
Yeah. It just, for me, because of The Last Jedi, it ruined it, you know, because The Force Awakens, I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed The Force Awakens for what I thought was about to happen. What I thought, with all of it, with Star Wars. So granted, it wasn't I love the prequels. I know they have their problems, but I love the prequels. Yeah, so for me, it wasn't as good as, you know, the last one we saw is Revenge of the Sith, so it wasn't on that level, but the potential was there. I thought we've got this. They flipped Ben Skywalker into Rey. That's what I was thinking, because everything in me believed she was going to be Luke's daughter. I figured that Finn would have been a Jedi, and I thought that Kylo Ren was going to end up being more evil than he turned, especially with if you make somebody, you have the balls to make this character kill his father, who is Han Solo. This person better be the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like, this person can't be
a hot topic.
Yeah, like, come on,
Ryan and whatnot.
Exactly. This person has to be the devil, and we didn't get any of that in The Last Jedi. So I don't understand, and I don't understand how people don't recognize that. I mean, there's no redemption for someone who murders their father. There's no redemption arc for that character. This is, I mean, Luke Skywalker saved his father, right? This man
returned to the Jedi.
Murdered his father, and not in a fit of rage. He was quite calm. quite calm when he did it. So this person has to have a level of evil that is unexplainable. And I'm thinking that this is where we've got Luke, we've got his daughter, and then we've got Finn coming in here. However, they're gonna work Leia, because quite honestly, through The Force Awakens, obviously we see she's not force sensitive as she should have been. But so I sort of discounted her from the Jedi side, but those three I figured would have to come against Kylo Ren and
his knights.
Yeah, and his knights, and how dark he must have been, how deep he must have been in the dark side.
Like the way you describe it, and I kind of agree with it, because it should have been to the point where not only it could have been years after the whole thing with him leaving the Jedi Temple with Luke trying to, God, I can't mention that crap. But if he was as dark as he says, what makes you think, like, why didn't they go with him creating his own dark Jedi temple? I mean, Knights of Ren were dark Jedi being trained, and then they could have, and then it could have actually been another clash of the rising of evil and the rise of the good. But in second, what? Steven. Am I talking sex here? What?
No, they.
Sorry, listen, I'm not trying to hurt
you. They did it. You didn't do it. Oh man. So with the comics, they backpedaled his darkness even more than those movies did. So the Kylo Ren comics bring him back. They sort of make it they try to make it, or give the impression that every bit of darkness that we feel from him is the Emperor's fault. It's not Ben Solo. And so Ben Solo didn't burn the temple. The Emperor did. It was a force lightning bolt, a force storm that struck the temple. Kylo Ren didn't do that. This is explained in the comics. You see what I'm saying? So like they backpedal with how dark they were trying to make his character.
So they didn't even trust their own delivery and story, so they had to change it in a place where most people won't read.
Exactly.
So they decanonized their own EU before the EU. This hurts my brain.
It's odd. It's really odd.
Very odd. And I tell people, it's like, if you would have written a halfway decent story, number one, I shouldn't have to read the comics to figure out what you were doing in the film.
Yeah.
Shouldn't happen. To me, that's a blatant failure of storytelling, that you couldn't get your point across within 2 hours or whatever. Shouldn't have backpedal and do that.
It's just a shame. And right now, I'm not so sure that they're going to try to retcon it. I think that they may just let it sit there in its own little universe for a hot minute while they try to get some of the fandom back on board, get as much money as they can, and maybe 6 years down the line they'll touch on it again. But make no mistake that, in my opinion, and from reading the High Republic, they are not retconning this, because all roads are still connecting with these writings, with the writings, be they the comics or these novels from the High Republic. Everything still connects to the First Order, to Kylo Ren, to Snoke. Everything still connects to the sequel trilogy. So I don't think there's a retcon. I just think that they're just going to let it live over here, try to make us forget it, while they make a little bit of money and then get back to it.
So pretty much counting on us having very short memories.
Yeah.
So in other words, they were considering us all Alzheimer's patients.
Well, or maybe they're hoping that by the time they get back to it, all of the OGs will be dead.
Or we would have moved on to something else. Because
which is hard to do because they're killing everything. But go ahead.
Yeah, because right now it's just the way things are, especially with them doing this push now on Disney Plus. That seems to be their focus, for coming up with more stuff to say, okay, kind of forget all this
Yeah.
other
Mind
stuff
trick
that
us.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like that's
Okay.
what they're gonna do.
Can I ask a question that related to this? Okay, I know it's kind of off base to the point. From what they've done to Star Wars now and how it's treated you, like probably on an emotional and the way you love it so much, and seeing now what's happened with the whole Gina Carano interview, and now with them targeting Rosario Dawson, is there a common trait on how they not only act out on the fan, but how they act out on the series, and is there a parallel?
It's odd. I know that I think personally, I just think Disney is about their business. Personally, I don't, because we have to remember that Chuck Wendig is a far leftist. He's a leftist, and they canned him.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so it's. I mean, I don't think that they're saying it's. I don't think that it's entirely, some sort of a right-wing agenda. I think it's about their business. They're trying to protect their business, and they don't want it. So they give a little bit of rope. You can go this far, this far, this far, but please don't pass this line. If you go past this line, this is what's going to happen. And this is just, I have no,
no, this is just opinion,
concrete evidence. This is just my opinion. But if it never had happened to Chuck Wendig, then I would say, okay, yes, is an absolute, maybe there is an absolute agenda. But the fact that it also happened there, I can't entirely say that it's just aiming at the right.
I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I should have rephrased it. What I meant is, are they treating Star Wars in the same parallel they are treating their actors and actresses that get out of line?
Where it's expendable? Yeah.
I'll let Callous answer before I say something.
I just don't want to get canned after this question because I just thought about this.
It's just weird. The whole, I can't wrap my head around it except to say that something very strange is happening on so many different levels, and not to go too far down that rabbit hole or that conspiracy theory hole, but something very strange is happening from what seems to be conditioning of sorts to just a complete lack or disregard for the way that their fans feel about these IPs or about these franchises. So it's a tough egg to crack. I don't think that it's really as cut and dry as some might want to say. That's why I don't really talk about it. I don't speak. No. I'm when I say that, I mean, like, I don't make videos about it. Because that's what I mean. Like, I'll talk about it. It is what it is. But I don't make. Yeah,
I get you because just to kind of add to that, because when people talk about where they're doing this to to the Star Wars fans, I tell people they've also been doing the same thing to OG Disney fans at the same time.
Yep.
So it's not like they're just zeroing in to do this to the Star Wars fans. It makes zero sense to me. It makes zero sense to a lot of people. But then again, when you look at the leadership of what's going on with Disney, because I keep telling people, look at all these people up here at these meetings. They are merchandise people.
Yeah.
They're not about the story. They're about the merchandise, and they're trying to move as much merchandise as possible. And if that means normalizing it to get the people who wouldn't normally buy Star Wars merchandise to do it, that's exactly where they're headed at. Even the people who wouldn't normally buy, the standard, old school Disney merchandise, which I and a lot of other people like, they'll come up with new stuff, which is why they're retheming a lot of classic rides, now that they're doing to make them more culturally sensitive or diverse, for the same reason that Galaxy's Edge was supposed to be based on the original trilogy. All the other stuff had lined up. So it was going to be aligned to the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. That's how everything was set up. And then they went another complete and total direction. I don't know if they're ever going to come back from that, because they've got investors that they're butting heads with, investors who are asking the questions that, you and I have. What's your plans for this IP?
They don't have any.
And they don't have any. And at one time, Iger wouldn't answer it. Now Chapek wouldn't answer it. And they're just saying, okay, you bought this stuff. You're in debt for over $1 billion for this IP, and you have no plan.
Yeah. I mean, that's entirely what it's business, but there's something else going on. Yeah, there's something else going on. And so, when we talk about the fact that we're washing out characters or replacing characters as opposed to creating new ones, what is the ultimate agenda with that? Like with everything that's happening right now, from whether it's the Disney to the Marvel or even Star Wars, Star Trek franchises, where what is going on? What is going on right now? Like, what is happening right now with our pop culture? And this is supposed to be what is, when we turn to these specific franchises, these are escapisms for us, right? These are where we want to go to get away from the day-to-day, from what's happening in the world around us right now. So why are they so hell-bent on, instead of keeping our fantasies fantastical, why are they trying to bring our reality that we live day to day into that? What's the purpose of that? Why are you trying to make me think about what's happening when, as soon as I leave the theater, in the theater, I already know what's going on out there? Why won't you let me sit here for the next hour and a half and dream? You know what I'm saying?
It's an easy answer.
Oh, go ahead, Stephen. I'll let you answer that.
The easy answer is that they can't monetize their dreams.
But they used to be able to.
Yeah, but they don't know how anymore, because they don't dream. They're living behind the dollar. They're living through the eyes of cash grabs. Get it in, make it fantastic for the moment, get as much money for it, then they bail out. And if you look at it, that's the same with DC, that's the same with Marvel, that's the same with Disney. It's all the same thing. They have forgotten how to storytell.
Yeah.
Here's something else to throw into that. They also don't trust you as an audience. Remember when they used to trust the audience?
Agreed.
To understand what the art was, and our pop culture used to do this. Like, for example, with Star Trek, especially original Star Trek, everything that was going on in the 60s, they would actually pull things from there, put it into the story, make the story central to it. And when you're looking at that, you're just like, that sounds like so-and-so that's going on now. But they're not banging your head about that. You have to actually flip a switch in your brain to think that that's what's happening in the reality. But what you're seeing before you is, escapism. But that little reality nugget is under so many layers that you can't see it. And they give the audience the benefit of the doubt to make that decision and make that connection and trust the audience to be able to understand and receive the art. Now, they don't.
Yeah.
It's just like, we're just going to have to lay this agenda up for you, bang you into the head with it, because we don't trust you to get it. We don't think you're smart enough, which I think is one of the biggest insults. They did not used to do that to the audience at all.
I think they've also forgotten the fact that
the Dragon Ball character.
He likes to do that.
Because I can. I do it a lot. It's the ADHD. But it's like when you think about it, when you think Star Wars, you try to think New Hope or the prequels. You try to think The Empire Strikes Back or the droids. You can laugh at Jar Jar Binks being a secret Sith if you want to go down that road, or you can have the Ewoks secretly the Munchkin Village who just had a hair growing problem. But when you think Disney Star Wars, no one smiles when you hear Disney Star Wars. Nobody does.
Yeah.
They don't bring up their first memories of Disney Star Wars. They don't remember the first, like the memory. Like if I say like, do you remember New Hope? You're like, yeah, I remember seeing it with this person and this person on this date, and I will always cherish that. When you hear Disney Star Wars, oh, that was the date me and my friend had an argument while leaving in the car after the movie, and we all hated each other and it caused a business. We still haven't talked for 2 weeks. Like that's not franchising to the customer. That's not franchising to the heart. They have no heart and soul when it comes to delivery. You can say the same thing like when it comes to Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey was supposed to be a movie about Harley Quinn and the getting all those women, strong female anti-heroes and heroes together in a movie, and it turned out to be a lecture about how bad the male genitalia were. It wasn't the same what we wanted to see.
Well, I'll add you even one more to that. I
I
just dropped a video. I know you were. I just dropped a video review in the trailer for Disney's Cruella,
Oy.
and I ripped that 3 rays from Sunday. I'm just like, there used to be an element of story to that. So they're basically wrapping it up like it's some kind of feminist thing, I guess, to why, she wants to make a coat made out of dogs. But it's all like this feminist, I am woman, hear me roar. I'm like, who gives a crap? but that's what they're leading with. It's just like they're not into the stories like they used to be. And it's a shame because that's what it was known for. That's when I was somewhat excited when at that time when George Lucas had sold to Disney. I think I had just bought my stock, but at that point in time, Star Tours was one of the most popular rides that they had. That whole area, it was like wall-to-wall people. You couldn't get through there. They had Star Wars weekends every weekend in May, and it was like a convention every weekend, and the place was just like popping. You go to Star Tours, it's like you start out in Endor, you kick you out, it's like you're on Tatooine. You can't get through Tatooine traders because there's so many freaking people around, buying stuff, to the point where they had to open up the launch bay further, like in the animation courtyard. They had to open that up. That had all the props and stuff from the sets and even more memorabilia because they didn't have the space.
Yeah.
And people just loved that. And that was the direction that I thought they were going to go in, because then they were advertising Galaxy's Edge. That's what pretty much everybody thought. We're going to get more of the same of all of this stuff. I'm going to be able to walk in the Mos Eisley Cantina and feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
And all those stories. And now it's just like, you mean to tell me I got to read a comic book to figure out what Galaxy's Edge is?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they'll make some changes with that. Because
you went there, right?
Yeah. And I actually still felt Star Wars being there. And it's probably because I was there. A lot of times people go maybe with 1 or 2 people, but I'm there with my family, and my entire family are Star Wars fiends. My mother's OG, and to her, she did have the question because her favorite is Vader. Vader is her favorite, hands down, and so she wears Vader. She want to know where the hell
he used to be around now.
She want to know where the hell Vader is.
And the top of Star Tours, I'm like, I thought he was dead. The heck? Anyway.
So, but I mean, I enjoyed the Millennium Falcon ride because it was, we went on as a family. We had every slot filled. I was a pilot. My son was Chewbacca. He was my co-pilot. My wife and my daughter were the gunners, and then grandmas were in the back as the engineers, So we were in there like acting a fool. We were in there hollering, what you doing? Like we were having a good time. It was like, so for me, I enjoyed that. And, my son and I, we built our lightsabers, we did where you can make your own lightsaber.
Savvy's.
Yeah. So we did that. And my mother was there also. And then for my daughter, I got her the BB-8 droid, the one that she didn't want to build her own. She just wanted BB-8. She didn't want to build her own.
Okay.
So that I still had that, and so that's why it still felt to me like Star Wars. But there were things missing. You know, I think they should have done a better job of giving us the OG and then integrating the new. Because they didn't really do too much with the story that they were planning with that park. You know, there was a whole, you know, they have the book, they have a couple, I think it's maybe a couple of different short novels that revolve around Galaxy's Edge, you know, so they were planning to do stuff with that theme park that I don't know if they did complete or if there's more to come. But it seems like it was sort of put on hold.
I just think they went in half-assed like they did with their movies. And then they backtracked to the point where there's no people there.
Well, you know what happened, Stephen, right?
Yeah. I know what happened. Yeah. We've done enough Florida shows with Disney to know what happened.
I was going to say, it's just like, it's not half-assed when you decided to screw it up.
Halfway through production when they were still building Tatooine sets. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I couldn't imagine being an Imagineer working on that and thinking I'm going to bring the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy to life. And you tell me I'm not, yeah, and just switch it up like that, because the stories that I heard is that did not go over very well in Imagineering, because Star Wars is one of those IPs that if you were an Imagineer working on that was like you hit the gold mine.
Yeah,
you know, to work on it. It's almost like some Imagineers who they got laid off from Disney went over to go to work on a Universal, like case in point. Wizarding World of Harry Potter. That place is insane.
Yeah.
I every time I go, I can't believe the detail in it. But yeah, it's a shame that it's just like they couldn't make sure the fundamentals were there, like
Precisely.
the original, before they put like their stuff on top of that. Because I could buy their Star Wars being there, but it's like without the original.
It didn't start in 2015.
Yeah,
it didn't start there. So why are you going to try to discount those last 40 years? Like, why wouldn't you? Like you said, you have those fundamentals. That is the foundation. You build on that. You don't start it at 2015 and then move forward. It was just a bad move on.
But that falls back into the whole thing we were talking about, the lecture. If we throw it in your face and the same thing where you got the comic books and other things, if we tell you must like it, either you're going to like it or you're not going to buy it, and the fans spoke.
Plus,
it's the same mentality. They're no longer listening, like Lorena said. They're no longer caring or trusting that the consumers themselves are smart and intelligent enough to put where their money goes. It's now you will take it or there's nothing, and now they have nothing.
Yeah. It's a damn shame. And see, with me, like I love Star Wars, so
really?
I can, yeah. So
never guessed.
So I continue to give them the opportunity to make it right, because at some point it has to turn around. So one of the people that I respect the most about his stance is Lethal, because Lethal said F it, and he didn't say F it from this point. He said F it all. And so if I'm going to turn my back, that's how I would do it.
He got rid of everything.
Everything. You know what I mean? So that's how I would do it. If I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just done. And so my process, or my thought process is okay, at some point it has to turn around. And also there is some good. They have delivered some good in the novels, not in not in cinematics, but in the novels they have delivered some good that have felt like Star Wars. And it's just about thinking, okay, this is the canon. This is the canon that Disney is, or Lucasfilm is delivering for us.
Which
And
specific novels would you say that they've done a good job with that?
I liked the Lords of the Sith. I enjoyed. I liked The
Yeah.
Apprentice. I liked Dooku, Jedi Lost. I liked
Heir to the Empire, Lord
Heir to
Plagueis.
those are EU though.
Yeah.
I don't care. They still count. They still count.
No, those are EU. But I did enjoy the new Thrawn, even though it's a different Thrawn, but it's a different Thrawn because it's a younger Thrawn. So the Thrawn that we know is the Thrawn that should be happening right now during the Mandalorian, 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. You know, that's the Thrawn that we are first introduced to. The Thrawn that we have in Rebels and that we have in the canon novels by the same author is a younger Thrawn. So it's not because I know some people think that he's just different and they watered him down, but because he's a younger Thrawn,
He's naive.
yeah, exactly. So for me, I see that character growth. I don't see him as a watered down version. I see him more as character growth. So the one that we have in Heir to the Empire, 9 years after a Battle of Yavin, and then what is that? These 5 years after Return of the Jedi,
Endor.
After Endor, that Thrawn has now marinated. You know, that Thrawn is a different Thrawn because he's grown. And so, whatever I believe Thrawn will be in, Ahsoka's series. I don't think, I just was recording a video about that. I think that Thrawn will be in Ahsoka's series, hopefully not in Mandalorian series, so that they can wrap that up, so they can bring that full circle from with Ezra and Thrawn. And we'll see why he did make that little bit of the change, because he's not completely different. He's just younger. He's just a little more naive. We get to see more of a where Thrawn came from the Chiss ascendancy. We see that Thrawn.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I hate to cut in quickly. I just want to say I got to dip because the pharmacy's going to close. I got to pick up meds for my dad. So, Callous, I hope we get to talk later in the future. And it's been a pleasure. Lorena, I apologize. I don't usually ever dip out.
No problem, dude.
But
no
now
problem,
she gets
dude.
10 minutes to make every woman on the internet jealous. So it's in her favor.
Stop.
But I hope you keep with your videos. Bro, keep smiling.
Appreciate you.
It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure, sir.
Keep
and your
memeing.
Dark Council is great. I'm doing more than memeing now. You guys have a great time.
Hey, bye, Steven.
Frat joke incoming.
So to bring it back to why you got started with YouTube and all that, you left off talking about how, you first had that video about the lightsaber. So when it went on from there.
So here's something that people know and don't necessarily know is that ultimately, yes, I have my 9 to 5. Appreciate my 9 to 5. Love my 9 to 5.
I hear you.
9 to 5 pays
Pays the bill.
Exactly. But ultimately, the dream is to write, is to be a novelist. So my thought was to have the two work together. So as I've written these 2 novels and I'm trying to query those novels, also to use the YouTube as a platform, that I can expose or expose the audience to me as an individual, and then also my love for sci-fi fantasy, because that's what my writings are, sci-fi fantasy, and then sort of integrate that. So that's the real reason why I stay with it is because of hopefully somebody will pick up, or I'll have to do it independently. And if I have to do it independently, if I have to go that Indiegogo route, Ninja Blast, shout out Ninja Blast.
There you go. Yep.
And Drunks, shout out Blue. Blue is his book.
Chronicles, yeah.
Yes. So anyway, so yeah, that's the whole purpose is for me to sort of use this as an extension of my author platform, because I had my my website. I let it lapse, and I need to build it again. But that's what it was. Yeah.
Because, dude, somebody told me once, you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
You have no idea who's watching, who knows who's connected to who,
Exactly.
and for what. And I used to think that was like just like a load of it, until I like hear from somebody like Gary back in the day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I watch your videos." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm not going to ask why, but I'm just like, that was just kind of like stunning. And I had did a pre-recorded interview with Eris of Chaos. And on Gary, so he's just mentioned, yeah, and I just saw this interview that she did with Eris of Chaos, and Eris was like, "Did Gary just say he watched the show?" I said, "Yeah." He said he watched the show.
That's
So
awesome.
it's just amazing. You never know who's watching, and this is one of the cool things about, I think, about this community. It's just like you never really know, where it ultimately go for you.
And there's so many artists too. Everybody's so creative. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're on YouTube, right? Is for that expression, whether it's verbal or like Makani with his artist. Yeah, I mean, everybody, or OG, where sometimes she has her jewelry and things. Like everybody is so creative. It's what we do. So I think that is my initial reason, right? Is to bolster the platform for the novel. But I also just want to give, there's some other things I have stewing around in the mind. Hopefully, if things take off, that I will certainly jump into, because one of the biggest things that I do want to do, because people say, when we have all of these characters that are being changed over, if you will, or washed out. That is one of the things that I wanted to do, because one of the I don't want to say it was profound, but somebody said, "Hey, if you want to see these characters, why don't y'all write these characters?" Sort of in a nasty, and
I've heard that before. Why don't you write your own instead of swapping the ones that
exactly
we have?
And so that's one of the things that I do. I want to do. I want to be able to provide that, and I just think that there's a space for it, and sci-fi fantasy is just a love I have.
Oh, excellent. Well, it does. It shows whenever, you talk about Star Wars, especially on the Dark Council, which brings me to my next question.
Oh, you talk Star Wars, I'm going all day.
Oh, all day, and I love it. It's like, I absolutely love it. It's like I had told somebody, had asked how I got started, with YouTube, and I said, yeah, well, it was peer pressure to get, get me on, make a channel, yeah, sure, whatever, okay, fine, I'll make a channel and y'all can shut up. But honestly, the thought of actually making a channel probably would not have happened had I not found the Dark Council.
Oh,
at all, really, because you guys have a different type of show. There's fandom shows and stuff kind of like that, but there isn't a show where I'm watching and y'all are talking about Star Wars, and the next thing y'all talking about the best MCs of all time. Then you're talking about something else. Then it's like it's all over the place, from like these different topics, like these like niche topics.
Yeah.
From niche topics from the culture, and then we go back and we start talking about Star Wars and DC and all that, and just we're just talking about some BS that happened today on the internet.
Is that because there's so many of us, and I think we've got so much going on in our heads throughout the day. When we come together, it's just, I mean, we talk daily. You know, we communicate text or via DMs on Twitter. You know, so we're always in constant communication with each other. But when we do that show and we're live with each other, and we sometimes stay on afterwards for 30 minutes, even another hour, just talking. Unless, you know, Drunk always got a dip because he's tired. Fatal got a good dip because he's tired. I got a meeting usually in the morning. So I'm like, I gotta go, you know? So, but it's just that it's just the connection that we have as a group, as a brotherhood. And we just enjoy sharing that love for the fandom, for the culture with each other. And then with everyone in the chat, because you all are just, like we always say, you're the greatest chat, because you just, even if we sat there and didn't say anything, we could just sit there and watch the chat and just, I mean, y'all going and having conversations with each other. And so that is also exciting to see that it's, you know, and from where we started to where it is now, just how close everybody, how close everyone is. And I love my brothers.
Because that definitely comes through a lot. Like I've seen, you know, plenty of shows that are out there, and it's pretty obvious, you know, the chemistry is there, they all get along and all that. But with the Dark Council, it's a different level. Mostly because of the relationships that you guys have with each other, and just that genuine affection you guys have for each other. It comes out. It's not something that you can fake. It's like I tell people, it's not fake when you sit there and you watch that stream, you know, even to the point of just giving somebody crap. Because who was it? I think Demaj, it was supposed to be his first stream, and then all of a sudden it turned to, we just gonna mess with Jay instead. And Demaj is like, I'm glad you landed on that, because I thought it was coming at me, you know. And it was just it was just hilarious. And we in the chat, we just like thoroughly enjoyed it. That was so much fun. So how did you get connected with the whole Dark Council to begin with?
Drunk. So coming in, the first person that I had any contact with was Entertainment Hacker. Shout out Entertainment Hacker.
Yeah, he's over in Japan, right?
Yeah. So he was the first person to have any contact with me, and then through him was Matrix and Rhodes Rants. Okay, and you know, the Texas boys, right? So through them was Fatal. So because they're all three Texas, right?
Yeah.
And so that connection, then I guess Drunk was putting something together, and he had Fatal, he had LB. I don't know if he had Abu. No, Abu was there. And I don't know who was. I think it might have just been the three at that point. But regardless, Fatal told him about me, and so Drunk he hit me on a DM, and he was like, "Hey, listen, I'm putting together a show. It's called Some Black Guys and a Drunk."
That's what I remember it as.
You know, we talk about Star Wars. We're going to talk about fandom. He was like, "If you like The Last Jedi, that's cool. That's cool." And I was like, "No, bro, I didn't like that." He was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." But you know, he was the first connect for the Dark Council, and then it all just came together after that. You know, we just started building. I think Fatal was also the connect for Second Street. Because Fatal knew Second Street first, and so because they're just comic heads, you know. So Fatal knew.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Just to surprise all y'all, I'm interviewing Second Street Marvel next.
Nice, yeah, that's my brother too.
Couldn't forget about him.
Yeah, Second is my man's. But yeah, so I mean, and we just rocked and rolled since. It's just great to see how far we've come, because when I first started doing that, I was using my phone. I was using my my Drunk always.
I saw that.
Lord have mercy. Do you see that one? But listen, That thing was supposed to be. It was. I thought it was good at you know. And then he was like, "Bro, you sound like crap, bro."
Dude, I get you because when I first got on a live stream, of course, I wasn't showing my face. I said, okay, what's the cheapest microphone that I could get? Which is one here for like $35. I said, that's all I freaking need. I don't care. We'll just do that. And I'll just, I have my webcam and all that. And then I started looking and listening to other people. I'm like, my microphone sounds like crap compared to some of these people. I need some better headphones.
Exactly.
I need to save up for a better microphone. But yeah, like you said, you don't know at the time. It's just like, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm not blowing a whole lot of money,
And then you make that investment in yourself because you realize, you know what, I can do this. I am pretty good, and you make that investment. And because I looked at it like, well, if I have live streams as well as my video equipment anyway,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I kind of went in with it. But yeah, Drunk was the plug, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
He was the plug for the Dark Council. And we've been rocking and rolling since.
Ever since. Yeah, like I said, that's like my favorite show. So I just love coming in there and just starting crap. That's what I do.
Oh, we love y'all though. We have a good time.
Yeah, y'all have a real good time. It's like, I know we need to kind of end, but not yet.
And then don't try to end and Abu not play a song.
Oh,
listen. We can't even start. Sometimes we're in the back and we're like, listen, they're out there waiting. Y'all, if y'all knew how, because there's always at least two of us on time. Always, right? So there's always two of us sitting there. Then the one rolls in, right? And we're just watching the time tick, and it's like, all right, it's 8:35, y'all. We got about 60 people in the chat. We should probably rock on. I'm killing our secrets right now. But they're like, nah, we can't go. We can't do it. Especially if one of the people is not Abu. It's like, no. We gotta wait. Because Abu has to open the show, And then, Drunk will try to trick you. He's like, nah, come on, just go, just start. I said, no, Drunk, if we start, we're gonna put it on you that you said to start without Abu. Oh man, now I miss my brothers right now.
You should see me. And I'm just like, oh yeah, the show's supposed to start. I'm just like, no, it ain't.
No.
Somebody said, what time does the show start? I'm like, whatever it is, add like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You think I'm joking. And I'll drop in there and I'll be like, oh, I see they still on Black Standard Time. People just like, what the? Yeah, it's okay to say that. They're having fun time. They're having fun time.
We're not.
This is kind of at work. Y'all just like Prince. He would never come out on time either.
We'll get there, and then and we feel bad too, because don't think that we just sitting there like just chilling. We'd always like, come on.
What? If I hadn't being on the other side of things, getting people together, because people already know, and Fat Steven already knows, if I'm not trying to start on time, I'm ready to cut somebody, because that's just me. But I always say the guests are never late. So if the guest shows up, whenever, sometimes stuff happens. I had a router go down and my show was delayed by 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes people have issues getting on. Sometimes
you said 20 minutes. That's light work.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I think that was the joke. It's just well, Dark Callous, they 30, 40 minutes.
That's light work. We'll do 20 minutes in our sleep. But we do try. We try.
Yeah, because it's we even when y'all are late. Well, when y'all were always late, we're just in the chat, just hanging out, talking to people, having fun with it at the same time. It's just it's y'all will get on or whatever, because y'all want them super chats.
Yeah. But the thing is, but you hit the nail when you said, you guys will sit there and have a good time with each other. And that means a lot to us, because rarely do we see the number tick down. You know what I mean? So once we've got, 50 to 60, 70, 80, even when we're still not there, rarely does it tick down. We'll never, I don't want to put it out there and jinx myself, jinx us. I just bit my tongue.
I can vouch for that. I have, I have seen that. It may drop maybe one or two.
Yeah.
But it's not like any significant, drop at all.
Yeah. And so that, because though you're waiting for the show to happen, but you guys are interactive, you're having a good time with each other, and that's the community. That's what we were looking to foster, and that is that means a lot. Just the fact that not that you'll wait for us, that doesn't feed any egos or anything like that. It's just that you have a great time with each other as you're waiting for us to get there.
Exactly. And it's just, being able to see everybody, talk to everybody, especially if you haven't, seen them in a while, or, or whatever. It's just like, it's that great, sense of community that we have waiting for y'all. But to bring it back, folks, this is Lord Callous's YouTube page. I love that banner.
Well,
was it a Halloween episode? I think when you had the contacts in, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, shout out Fandom Menace, because he's the one that actually created this. And then Cave did the Cave Art one. He did my avatar there. So the banner was done by Fandom Menace on Twitter. I don't think he has
CJ?
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. He does. I want to say he does. He does the trailers he does the thumbnails for the lunch table. He does the thumbnails for the actual special. And he does my thumbnails for Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, that's his work. So shout out CJ.
Nice.
And then Cave Art did the avatar.
Oh, okay.
So
I may have to hit him up.
Yeah,
folks. It's like all these people that I got to, like, I had Mock, and he did my one initial piece of artwork, but I've heard about Cave Art, so I'm probably going to hit him up. So folks,
he's good.
Definitely do subscribe to Lord Callous, and if you are on Twitter, please do check out his Twitter page. Is there any projects you have coming up that you'd like the folks to know about?
No projects other than me just trying to be more consistent with my uploads. Right now I do about 2 or 3. I'm trying to get to 4 to 5 a week. Just bear with me as
hey Bad Steven.
Hey Steven.
I hear you, because I just recently got to a place where maybe I can put an additional upload, and it seems to get more traction. But like I said, when you're working a 9 to 5 and trying to do this, it's tough going. Yeah,
it's tough. So with 10 short of 4K, so hopefully this week we can get there.
Let's get them there, folks.
But I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Actually, can I just take 900 of them so I can get monetized, please? Can I just take 900 of them? I'm at that 300 mark. I gotta start panhandling like Oliver Twist.
Nice.
Yeah, he's going his way. He's like, what, you've got about already, I think, how many watch hours?
The Gina, I'm at 1,700 watch hours because of the Gina interview. We made about my first, when we did the coverage, I reached a peak of 423 viewers.
Oh, nice.
You're getting there, dude. You're getting there.
I'm trying, but not as gracious as his voice. I might just have to steal him and dub over all my videos. Like, why is Lord Callous on Fat Stevens? I ate him. I ate all of him.
Oh, well, Callous, thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate it. I know you're a busy dude, so I'm just glad we got you for the show. And you know what? Whenever you have time, please feel free to come. Please feel free to come on. Let me know. Absolutely. Say, hey, I want to come on.
Thank you for having me. It's a great combo.
Oh, no problem. It was a fun time. So, folks, please do subscribe to Lord Callous. Follow him on Twitter. And, of course, please follow and subscribe to Fat Steven and myself. And we'll catch you next time.
I just popped in
Bye.
to say goodbye. We also did not promote the drinking of cocaine or coke or pixie stick.